How's it going, guys? It's Cole from See Through Panel showing off Hell's Paradise Volume 1 by Yuji Kaku, published by Viz and retailing for $13 US. This is a oversized manga, so, oversized compared to other manga formats, but compared to like a American Trade or something like that, pretty average size, but definitely better to get a bigger book, especially for a more adult-oriented book like this. I think it's seinen, just basically one step up from shonen. I don't know anything about that, but before we get too deep, I'm not going to be spoiling too much, but I will be flipping through the book, talking about the general plot and my thoughts on it. So if you're worried about spoilers, come back after. We can talk about it then. I've just begun this book. Obviously, this is just the first volume, basically the equivalent of reading like the first two issues of a comic series in American comics. So really not very far yet. But so far, I have really been enjoying it. I think Yuji Kaku's art is tremendous. I love the use of ink. I love the very dynamic action scenes. I should probably talk about the story a bit before I get too off the rails. So our main character is Gabimaru. He is a ninja who is basically on death row. They're attempting to execute him. First, they're going to, I believe, burn him here, and he just will not die, saying that he's not trying to resist. And we have an inspector coming to basically talk to him, basically do an interview with him about his life, how he got here. He was basically exiled from a ninja clan or something to that effect, and he just now wants to die, theoretically. They call him Gabimaru the Hollow because he's killed so many people and apparently feels nothing. Here they're trying to draw and quarter him, and all that really happens is he ends up, I think, killing the oxen just from exertion or something like that. And that doesn't work either. Once again stating that he's not trying to resist. And eventually they break out the big guns and have an executioner come who reveals that he in fact does want to survive. He is resisting. He's using ninja powers, basically, ninjutsu, to survive all of this stuff that would be lethal to anyone else. Here's an awesome splash page. And he's doing this because he loves his wife, who is the daughter of the ninja clan leader, who is basically married to him as a thank you to Gabimaru, and now he wants to leave that life because of her. He wants to have a better life, and he actually isn't hollow. It's basically an exploration of redemption from what I can tell so far. Also another badass splash page. And the way that he's going to get out of this situation is he's going to do a job for the government, going to a paradise island that has the elixir of immortality. He's going to bring it back, and he's going to be forgiven of all of his crimes. He's going to be pardoned. He's going to be able to leave the ninja clan without being executed. And all of this to say, it is a setup for what seems to be a mixture of battle royale on this island. There's a bunch of criminals all going there to compete. Only one's going to bring back this elixir of immortality, and it's open season on all these people. They can all kill each other. It's all part of the rules. So him and his partner Sagiri, who is pictured here, pretty great design so far. I do love they have little fashion reviews at the end of every chapter, detailing the fashion of each character. So it's him and Sagiri on this. There's him thinking about being executed. I also like the use of, you see this quite a bit actually, but not a lot in manga so far that I've read. Panels that look like something very startling, but it's actually just the character thinking about something, and for a second you think maybe he just got executed, but obviously this is chapter 1, so he doesn't really, but seen that quite a bit, and I think it's a fun storytelling ploy. Really kind of like a jump scare type deal. Kind of a mixture of battle royale and fending off this hellish island, and it's Hell's Paradise is the name, obviously, because this island is basically supposed to be heaven. I think they call it heaven multiple times. It's a beautiful place, but it is absolutely lethal to anyone who goes there. No one has ever come back. One person has come back alive, but they are absolutely messed up. They're basically not alive. Kind of like an organic virus that comes through and is making flowers poke out of their body. But yeah, so it's kind of like a mixture of battle royale and then this survival story of this island. That's pretty much all I've got so far. Art is just gorgeous in this book. I think there's about 13 chapters. I'm really happy they're oversized, like I said at the beginning. I really enjoy that there's a bigger form factor to this book because I really enjoy the art style. I think Yuji Kaku has a beautiful, beautiful style. It's very... I'm really having problems differentiating manga art styles. It's a lot easier for me to differentiate like American comics or bande dessinée and things like that. But so far from what I can tell, I really like his use of ink. I think that he's got a very dark sensibility as well, where it's more of an adult book, as I said, not aimed at kids. So there is some nudity, there's some extreme violence, and I think the art style lends itself well to that kind of story. I think a typical shonen a la One Piece or Naruto or something would have a much simpler design style. A lot less lines on the page, I think, would benefit. More cartoony, as you would see. Not cartoony in the sense of it looks like a cartoon, but cartooning. The style you think of when you think of cartooning, I think, makes more sense for that kind of book. But the more involved, detailed style works for this type of more adult story. And it's definitely really intriguing. Here's a shot of the island. Really intriguing to me so far. I really just don't have a ton to say about the story. Because I haven't gotten that far. This season, or volume 1, basically ends with them getting to the island, having a little bit of combat on the island. I won't say too much about that. And then a big reveal about what's on the island or who's on the island. And then we're going into volume 2. So I'm going to skip forward a bit here and skip past some of this potential nudity. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I've heard from some friends that they really liked the anime, so I decided I'd read the manga because I'm more of a reader than I am a TV watcher. But I also love that Sagiri always has... The line on her, for her mouth, is always uneven. Makes her look disgruntled or uncomfortable. Even when she's like in the middle of combat or something, or even just middle of dialogue. Even right there. Yeah, it's never an even, flat line. I thought that was funny. Works very well. Another thing that sets this apart, you might be seeing here, there's some almost nudity, not full nudity. I've got that bookmarked out so I don't get to it. It's not fan service, or cheesecake as we call it. It's in service to the story, and most of the time, like we see Sagiri there almost fully nude, but it's not just to draw readers in, really. It's because she's feeling very vulnerable, and it's kind of a flashback or a like I said before, they're having a thought, and so the visuals depict what that thought is like, and she feels very vulnerable, very open, and it's actually kind of usually used in a disturbing way. It's not really sexual at all, and I think it worked really well. I haven't really seen a lot of cheesecake out of this yet. There's maybe something that could be called that later with another character. There's some ultraviolence. Gabimaru doesn't like to kill, but will kill if need be to achieve the life he wants to achieve. And there's another beautiful, really wide panel. I guess it's not really a spread or a splash because it cuts through here, but beautiful, beautiful page. Here's him depicted how Sagiri sees him when she feels vulnerable with these kind of corpses all over her. He is even more so, absolutely covered, and yet he's in motion while she's standing still. I thought that was a very awesome depiction of that. Yeah, and so they're learning things from each other, and the characters are already evolving. I think there's only 4 or 5 chapters in this first volume, and we've already got so much momentum and progress and so much depth to the characters that I think it's really promising as a series. I've already bought... Spoilers, I've already bought volumes 2 and 3 that'll be in the haul, hopefully, at the end of this month. And I'm super excited to read more. It's just a series that the internet raved about, and I still didn't read it. And then my friends raved about the anime, and I'm just finally going to read it. Here's one of those fashion reviews. Just Yuji Kaku talking about his designs for all the characters, and then he gives them a rating out of 3 stars, and Gabimaru gives 0 stars. Yeah, and here's the leader of the ninja clan looking absolutely demonic. But yeah, I'll make this a pretty short one because not a ton to say, and I'm just starting the series. But if you have read this series, tell me what you think about it. this is a really strong start, and I hope it keeps up. I'm really hoping someone will say it stays this good, and the momentum is all it pays off in the end, because I'm really excited about it. But also great facial expressions. I noticed manga does that really well comparatively to American comics. I think on average, manga does facial expressions better because they're not all same face syndrome, which a lot of artists have, and manga artists have it too, but less so. Or maybe it's just something I haven't seen enough of yet, so I haven't noticed it. But yeah, beautiful series. Really excited for it. Really, really enjoyed it. So if you have anything like this, let me know, and I'll probably end up picking that up because I loved this. And please tell me that it stays this good or even gets better, because it would be one of my top manga if it stayed this good. This was an awesome, awesome first volume. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Peace.